today we're going to talk a little bit about the Beyond Tomorrow Downtown Plan. Did I say that right?
Yes.
I always am afraid I'm going to get the words out of order, and then it doesn't quite make sense.
Yeah, we kind of regret the lengthy title. The previous plan was called the Downtown Tomorrow Plan, and so we were trying to play off of that.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know if it was the best decision, but.
Gotcha. So tell us, I know that this is a very large plan. It's a very, lots of pages, but can you kind of give us an overview of what this plan entails?
Yeah, so this is essentially a 25-year plan looking at the future vision of downtown. We spent about 2 years working with the community, stakeholder groups, business owners, property owners, different entities throughout the community to really put together a community vision for the future of downtown. This is a plan that takes all of those ideas, all that information, and really puts it together in one place so that moving forward, all those stakeholders, developers, the city, all kind of have a unified vision of what downtown's goals are, and what it could be in the future.
So from your perspective, what is one of the biggest things people will notice as part of this plan?
Well, you probably won't notice anything soon. Like all plans, they take a while to do a lot of groundwork. We are adopting it next Tuesday. And after that, we will go into the implementation phase. So there'll be a lot of kind of behind the scenes strategizing on how best to actually implement what the plan says. So that being said, there won't be a lot of change in the near future. Similar to Aggieville, we adopted a plan in 2017, and you really didn't start to see a lot of change until maybe around 2020, 2021, when we first started working on an update of 12th Street north of Morrow. And then obviously the parking garage was constructed, broke ground later that year. So it was about 3 or 4 years before we really started seeing anything there. Downtown is large. There's a lot of opportunities for change and improvement, but that also means that there's a lot of complexities to how we can approach it. So I can't say definitively what we're going to see, but we do expect that potential to eventually come to fruition in the coming years.
So still going to be a few years before we actually start to see stuff change in regards to following the Beyond Tomorrow Downtown. I'm gonna get it, I promise.
Yeah. I was telling her I regretted how we named it something that lengthy.
Yeah, we already discussed the.
Seemed good at the time.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, then I also kind of noticed, I'm like, I wonder where they got the idea for the shape of the logo next to it.
Did you get it out?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Wareham, or
yep.
It's kind of
kind of a movie theme throughout. Yep.
Yeah. So I guess for me, when I think downtown, I think the 300 to 500 block of points. To me, that's downtown. I was assuming that this envelopes a much larger set of blocks of town. Can you kind of tell me the area that this actually covers?
Yeah, so it does cover a much larger area than just those 3 or 4 blocks. I think it's good that we tend to think of downtown in those terms. Really the classic kind of Main Street historic character kind of feel. Functionally, downtown is a lot larger than that. There's the kind of the north area, or the north end near Hy-Vee, the south end with the Discovery Center, and then the historic core, which is more what you're talking about. So a big conversation throughout the planning process was how do we unify those areas? How do we psychologically tie them better together so that it is more of a cohesive district? What we found was that there was a lot of people who saw them as separate, and there was pretty good reasons for that. There's a pretty significant break in the pedestrian environment. A lot of the function between those areas is different. There's just a lot of nothing in between them, for lack of a better term. Parking lots where people aren't very willing to walk the several blocks because what's there to do? It's a very harsh environment. Yeah. So how can we better unify those areas to create a more cohesive downtown? And then what are opportunities outside of that? Really looking at how can downtown grow, not only internally but externally. So are there areas where maybe a lot of land uses have fallen out of irrelevancy, or maybe there's just a lack of upkeep, or maybe there's additional development pressure that is really looking at maybe some more targeted areas outside of what we today think of as downtown. The 2000 plan, which resulted in that north end area with Hy-Vee and then the south end area with the Discovery Center, that plan asked that same question. What could downtown be outside of this district that we traditionally think of? And so a lot of good came from that, and we really want to kind of build off of that idea and build off of those successes of the past.
Yeah, when you were saying that disconnect and the parking lots, people will just drive laps instead of going to that parking lot that's 2 blocks away and they had already been to whatever their destination is.
Yeah.
Now, I will admit, on rainy days, I am that person that will drive laps.
Sure.
But a day like today, no.
Yeah.
When it's nice out, yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we found. The community gave a lot more grace to downtown for its lack of parking than we kind of expected. Not everyone expected to be able to park right in front of the place that they were trying to get. And what we found is that a lot of that had to do with the fact that it is a destination worth going to. It's not a destination of convenience. It's a destination that it is of a compelling nature, that people want to go there, so they're willing to maybe park a little bit further away than they would if they were going to Target and just looking for the spot right next to the doors. So that actually gave us a lot of flexibility to kind of not allow parking to be such a limiting factor. A lot of the Downtown Business Association, Downtown Manhattan, DMI. Yes. DMI was one of our biggest allies in that regard too, recognizing that there may be a parking problem downtown, but it's kind of a double-edged sword. There's in some areas too much parking, where we just have empty lots and seas of pavement, and then other areas where there's a shortage of parking, and those tend to be near those high demand destinations. So what can we do with those underutilized areas to maybe relieve those overutilized areas? What are development opportunities for those underutilized areas? And how can that really build up downtown to grow and thrive?
Sorry, that was a really weird noise I just heard through the door or the wall. Somebody's writing on the
There's a pipe that...
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It sounded almost like somebody was drawing really, really frantically.
I've never figured out where it's coming from, but there's just a pipe that whenever all the toilets flush at the same time, it'll squeak.
And it squeaks and makes a noise. That's fun. All right, I was trying to think of what else is something important for the community to know about the plan that we haven't already talked about?
I don't know what they know, but
That's okay. If someone, like, let's just base this on someone barely has touched the surface of what's being done, what would be something important we didn't already talk about that they should know about the plan?
So the plan itself, we took kind of a unique approach to it that we haven't conventionally done. That includes a lot of I don't know what to call it. Should have thought of that. So we really wanted to be able to take the information that we were hearing from the community and not just give them kind of generic imagery of what that could look like. That's kind of a typical process. We wanted to really contextualize some of the ideas and some of the concepts that we were hearing from the community, that we were getting from our stakeholders, that are in line with best practices in terms of planning, and show what that could look like in the existing environment. So what that meant was we were able to do a lot of modeling, renderings, like 3D renderings, sketches of existing places throughout downtown, to really show what that future could look like if it were to come to fruition. So we called them conceptual projects.
Okay.
And it takes a site in a certain area of downtown that maybe has unique goals or kind of a unified character that maybe the community wants to see shift a little bit. And we kind of pack that all into a conceptual project that maybe met those needs while also being something that the community was particularly excited about. And they don't, obligate anybody to anything they're going to happen, but it really got the imagination of the community going in a way that we haven't been able to do in the past. And a lot of that just is reflective of the staff that we we have, and some very talented students at the state that we were able to work with on those things. Even some of it was donated by local architect firms and local entrepreneurs who just already kind of had these ideas and didn't really have anything to do with them. So they gave them to us, and we were like, yeah, this is great.
That's cool.
So really, truly, community plan in that sense. So we put all these conceptual projects in the plan to kind of show, what those things could look like in the future, and really get people's imaginations going, and really inspire that future.
So this will also is to help with future growth and just continue to improve the whole, even though it's focusing on downtown. It's like,
yeah, a lot of those projects are, we're more community level sorts of things. Some specifics on that include like a permanent farmers market structure. So a lot of like placemaking and economic development opportunity there, supportive of the local economy. Riverfront oriented development, maybe more south of Fort Riley Boulevard. There's a lot of talk about, riverfront, the riverfront in Manhattan today. All the way to, things surrounding like how do we reimagine the mall? Like how do we continue to keep our downtown's mall vibrant and relevant into the future, given kind of the national trend of malls right now. So creating conceptual projects for what that could look like to. So projects like that are maybe more unique and more community oriented than we might have been able to kind of convey under an ordinary planning process. So
Yeah.
that was something I was very proud of our team for putting together.
And then this is something that people can go and find the plan online and be able to look at that information, correct?
Yes. So the plan itself is on our website. There's a project page for it. If you go to, I believe it's cityofmhk.com/downtown plan, will get you there.
Okay. We'll verify that.
Yeah. So all of the background information, chronology of the project, the plan document itself is all in there.
Okay. Anything else that we should talk about that we didn't already discuss?
We will be putting out a promotional video for it.
Okay.
This will be like a kind of a summary, like a visual summary of the plan that includes all of that imagery and those conceptual projects, while also kind of creating a narrative for kind of the origin of the plan, its process, and kind of the next steps. So we really expect that to be kind of the face of the plan rather than the actual document, because it's 150 pages. And it's kind of a technical document. This will be like a 5-minute video that people can share and be a lot more engaged with. So we expect to release that in the coming weeks, months, maybe. But pretty excited about that.